Hi, today we are going to be talking about the CFA Access Scholarship. It's a need-based scholarship. So in this video, we're going to be talking about what's the benefit of this Access Scholarship, who can apply, what's the eligibility, when to do it, and how to do it. That's the do's and the don'ts while applying for the Access Scholarship. The CFA Institute also offers two more scholarships, the Student and the Professor Scholarship. That's a very small population that's eligible for that. So we're going to be really focusing just on the CFA Access Scholarship. So as I said, the first thing we're going to start with, what's the benefit? So as you know, the CFA examination fees is around $1,490 for level 1, level 2, and $1,590 for level 3. And the early enrollment is a little bit cheaper. But if you get the CFA Access Scholarship, then all you have to pay is $400 plus taxes. So if you're someone residing in India, that could mean almost 100,000, 110,000 rupees in savings, $1,100 plus the GST benefit associated with that. All right, so that's a great one. Great reduction in fees, so extremely useful for a lot of the people who really need this to pursue the CFA program. Now let's talk about, who can apply? What's the eligibility requirement to apply for the CFA scholarship? It's pretty much the same as anyone who wants to appear for the examination, but a couple of things to remember. First thing is, if you've already paid for the CFA exam, then you're not eligible to apply because that shows that you have the ability to pay. Remember, this is a need-based scholarship, so if you already paid, then you don't qualify. The second point is, if you do get the CFA scholarship, you only have 2 attempts to clear the examination, whichever level you have applied. So generally, you have 6 attempts, after which the CFA Institute prohibits you from continuing the program. So if you've already done 6 attempts, then you can't apply for the CFA scholarship. Or if you do get the CFA scholarship, then you only have 2 attempts. All right, now let's talk about when to apply. So we all know there are 4 examination windows for CFA level 1, 3 for level 2, and 2 examination windows for level 3. So typically, the scholarship window opens 2 months or so prior to the early enrollment deadline for that window. As an example, the August 2026 early enrollment deadline, I think, is Jan 21st, 2026. So this scholarship window opens on November 11th, 2025, a little more than 2 months. So it gives you time 2 months before to apply for this scholarship. And they usually get back with the results within 45 days. So you should get the result, 2 or 3 weeks before the close of the early enrollment deadline. So if you get the scholarship, that's awesome. Even if you didn't get it, you still can take advantage of the early enrollment fee. So that's how it works. So it's a good thing. You apply for it if there's a need, and even if you don't get it, you can still go for the early enrollment examination fee. All right, now let's go and talk about the do's and don'ts while applying. The first thing is fairly obvious. When you are giving the information about income, wealth of your family, and what you are earning, be accurate, be truthful, because the CFA Scholarship Committee can always ask for proof. So if the CFA Scholarship Committee does find that the applicant has cheated or lied on the application, they may permanently bar you from the CFA program, even if they find it later, even if after you have cleared the exam, etc. So be careful, never lie. First of all, it is part of your CFA examination ethics. You have to follow the code of ethics and the standards. It's very important that we maintain professionalism and truthfulness in our CFA scholarship application. The second thing is, when you are writing the essay, make sure you tell them 2 things. We are going to create a separate video on detailed video on how to write the CFA essay, how to communicate the key message in your essay. But 2 key points here I want to say. First, make sure you clearly state, if you don't get the CFA scholarship, what's the implication, how it will affect your CFA charter holder journey, how it might delay it. The second thing is to say, if you do become a CFA charter holder, how are you going to help the finance community at large? What's the goal that you're trying to achieve with the CFA designation. Okay, so if you do this, it's going to increase the odds of you getting the CFA scholarship. I hope everyone who deserves, who needs this, to get it. To subscribe, to see that video, the detailed video on how to write the CFA essay scholarship. That should be out just in time for your August 2026 scholarship application. So all the very best in your scholarship application and in your exam preparation. See you soon.